The pandemic has set women back 3 decades in the workforce, between job loss, the need to leave the workforce for caregiving reasons and things of that nature. We really want to be intentional about working with our partners to engage women and get them back on their feet. A lot of women don't know what they don't know about where the jobs are. So I think it's really important that organizations be intentional about casting a wide net when they're sourcing talent. So one of the things that we're noticing is as women are coming back to the workforce, many of them are seeking a new career path. Many of them are looking to do something different. Many of them are seeking flexibility in a way that we've never had before.
We know that, and this is the tragedy here, because of the insular networks, the misperceptions of risk associated with bringing on women, there's an unconscious bias. And in fact, when recruiting takes place, if there's no intentionality, we find that we often set the bar higher for women and lower for male recruits. Well, obviously we need not just mentorship opportunities, but sponsorship, but you also need laws like SB 826, which actually has completely transformed the landscape when it comes to women on public company boards in California. 3 years ago, we had 30% all male boards. And as of this past December, we now have only 1% all male boards. There's so much proof that having women in leadership is actually better for business. There's greater creativity, productivity, and a better bottom line when you have women in leadership.
We surveyed over 8,000 women and men around the world in 16 different countries. And there were some amazing conclusions in terms of why women don't invest at the same rate as men. But before I get into those, I would just say one thing. If there's one takeaway from this research, it is that now is the time to create a more inclusive investment world for generations today and generations to come. So if women were to invest at the same rate as men, what we found is that 3.2 trillion could find its way into invested markets globally. And of that, 1.87 trillion of it would likely find its way into sustainable or responsible investments that align with women's goals and objectives.
The stats are sobering here. Women earn 82 cents for every dollar that men make in the US. And the stats are even worse when you look at things globally. According to the World Economic Forum, women earn 68 cents for every dollar earned by men, and it would likely take 136 years to achieve parity.
Women in general work about a half an hour more per day than men. When you add together paid and unpaid work, men have more paid time off than women, and women are disproportionately working in unpaid work that they don't get paid for. And so, this is the reality of society today, and I think it's just important to really acknowledge all of the work that women do contribute to society and all of the effort they put forward in our economy. There are cultural and structural norms within society that really drive areas of the economy that women go into and areas they choose not to. And so I do think it does require a really comprehensive analysis, if you will, to really understand what's going on with the dynamics. I think there's a couple of areas that are relatively low-hanging fruit that we can engage in as a society. One is we can ask men to contribute more in terms of unpaid labor in households so that women are able to more actively engage in paid employment. We could reimburse individuals who engage in care work, whether they're men or women. We can reimburse individuals for that activity.
More than 75% of caregivers are women. But what if you could leverage your experience with elder care into a business that's attracting the attention of venture capitalists?
I unexpectedly became a caregiver at only 22 years old when my grandmother had a major surgery that left her practically immobile. And I had no experience, no medical training. The process was just so overwhelming. And I really had no idea where to start or what she needed, where to get it. And I just wanted to go to someone, anyone, for advice, for guidance. Because I was, working full time. I had so little time to figure it out. And that's when I realized I wasn't alone. 90% of all care and support that's received by seniors is actually provided by family caregivers like myself. And I thought there had to be a better way.
Bloomberg reports that female founders raised just 2% of VC money in 2021. You've managed to raise $30 million in venture capital to date.